What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires. Now, when at first Jonathan Majors' legal troubles arose from an alleged assault earlier this year, pretty much all of his professional relationships and partnerships dropped him. All, of course, except for Disney and Marvel. Then, throughout the year, we started to hear later and later that they had not rewritten or removed him from Loki Season 2, and as we've clearly seen now through Episode 4, he's played a major role in the series. This all lends itself to thinking that perhaps, and even after the trial was done, Marvel Studios would stick by Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror and the big bad of the Multiverse Saga as we head towards Avengers Secret Wars, but not so fast. Revealed in an extremely candid and sometimes scathing article from Variety that broke this morning, it appears as though Marvel Studios considered and is still considering two major contingencies that are on the table, either a recast going forward with Kang the Conqueror but getting a new actor to play him, or pivoting altogether to a different villain in Doctor Doom. We're going to go through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. I'm going to point out all the details. There is so much in here, and the fact that this is still a real possibility and what they say even in the face of whatever happens with the upcoming trial. Again, we're breaking it all down, this new major reveal that Marvel Studios may in fact decide to go with a different villain for the Multiverse Saga and Avengers Secret Wars. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report or major article like we're covering today, and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. We are just a week away from giving back-to-back PlayStation 5s away, one for Loki's finale and one for the Marvels. Again, all you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment on this video. If you want, stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so again, for context, this broke this morning from Variety under the headline Crisis at Marvel and included the subtitle Jonathan Majors' Backup Plans, where they went on to report, quote, "This past September, a group of Marvel creatives, including studio chief Kevin Feige, assembled in Palm Springs for the studio's annual retreat. Most years, the vibe would have been confident, even cocky, given how the premier superhero brand, owned by Disney since 2009, has remade the entertainment business in its image. But on this occasion, it was angst-ridden. Everyone at Marvel was reeling from a series of disappointments on screen, a legal scandal involving one of its biggest stars, and questions about the viability of the studio's ambitious strategy to extend the brand beyond movies into streaming. The most pressing issue to be discussed at the retreat was what to do with Jonathan Majors, the actor who had been poised to carry the next phase of Marvel's cinematic universe, but instead is headed to a high-profile trial in New York on domestic violence charges. The actor insists he is the victim, but the damage to his reputation and the chance that he could lose the case has forced Marvel to reconsider its plans to center the next phase of interlocking slate of sequels, spin-off, and series around Majors' villainous character, Kang the Conqueror. At the gathering in Palm Springs, executives discussed backup plans, including pivoting to another comic book adversary like Doctor Doom. But making any shift would carry its own headaches. Majors was already a big presence in the MCU, including the scene-stealing antagonist in February's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and he has been positioned as the franchise's next big thing in this season of Loki, particularly in the finale, which airs on November 9th and sets Kang as the titular star of the 5th Avengers film in 2026. Slight spoiler warning should have been issued there, but apparently they're okay with talking about the finale in that way. They go on to write, Marvel is truly effed with the whole Kang angle, says one top deal maker who has seen the finale of the Loki episode, and they haven't had an opportunity to rewrite until very recently because of the WGA strike. But I don't see a path to how they move forward with him. Later in the article, they continue by saying, quote, "When the Quantumania actor was arrested in March, Disney executives insisted they could afford to play the wait-and-see game, given that Avengers: The Kang Dynasty wasn't expected to begin shooting until 2024. But then Majors was dropped in quick succession by his publicists and managers. He remains a client at WME, the agency he landed at after CAA parted ways with him pre-arrest for his quote-unquote brutal conduct towards staff. In April, other alleged domestic violence victims of Majors began cooperating with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Then, ahead of a key hearing in October, media outlets including Variety obtained a court filing that referenced a police incident in London involving Majors that led his ex-girlfriend to seek medical attention. Making matters even stickier, the ex-girlfriend also worked on Quantumania as a movement coach, and the London incident took place while Majors was shooting season 2 of Loki. On October 25th, the New York judge denied Majors' motion to dismiss the case, which ensures the actor will stand trial in late November, and his legal team is attempting to keep some of the material in the case sealed. A studio source notes that regardless of the actor's legal issues, Marvel had already considered moving away from the Majors-led phase because of the box office performance of Quantumania, which will struggle to make a profit. Quote, "It gave people pause that Quantumania didn't exactly land," the source says. And on October 27th, Disney removed another Majors film, Searchlight's Magazine Dreams, from the release calendar. Now, as if all of this wasn't enough that they're even considering Doctor Doom or going away from the actor altogether, this is what Variety continues by saying, quote, "Recasting Majors is also an option, as Feige did when he replaced Terrence Howard in Iron Man 2 with Don Cheadle. In fact, Marvel isn't afraid to change direction even after making splashy announcements, which they go on to attempt to compare that to, say, Armor Wars changing from a TV show to a movie, but let's all admit that the recasting of Jonathan Majors, and especially after he's had this much screen time in Phase 4 and Phase 5, would be a much bigger deal. Now, admittedly, given all of this information, and if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that it has nothing to do with Jonathan Majors, that I've always wanted Doctor Doom to be the villain in Secret Wars. He's the villain in the two major Secret Wars runs from the comics, both in the 80s and 2015 Jonathan Hickman run. I just want to see him in the MCU and a part of a saga that he was a part of in the first place. I've also talked about real recently at the channel that we've heard Kang might end up being a variant of the Beyonder, and all of these changes to that story, at first I just rejected them all. I don't want to see Kang as the Beyonder, and I don't want to see Kang in the role of Doctor Doom in the Multiverse Saga. But I have to admit, there were some problems with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, but Jonathan Majors' portrayal of Kang the Conqueror was not one of them. And in fact, after his recent portrayal of Victor Timely and through these first 4 episodes of Loki Season 2, I've kind of come around on the idea of him being the villain of Secret Wars. Again, I don't like it for reasons that are outside of what's happened with him and legally this year, but I think it's very unfair to lump all of the problems that Quantumania had on him, and I think it's also extremely unfair, and while it may not be equally as unfair that they put this much work into contingencies in replacing him because they are a huge company that has to sort of plan ahead, them standing by him the way that they have and not making a decision until after the legal process is done is something that I think that they should continue to do if they're not planning on it, not make any decisions until that's played itself out, innocent until proven guilty, and if he should be proven innocent as some of this evidence has made it look, then you don't have to worry about replacing him anyway unless that's what you wanted to do from a story standpoint. And I think while some of this is extremely revealing, I think what's even more revealing is that they reactionarily just want to replace Jonathan Majors because Quantumania didn't do well at the box office, which I think is totally unfair. That's not the problem with the film. And so really I wonder, when you sort of hope for the best and them sort of correcting the course in the future, if they're still not learning their lesson, that it's all about the story and from the story standpoint. And from that point of view, put Doctor Doom in there. Yeah, of course do that. That's what you should have done from the story in the first place. But now don't get rid of Kang because Quantumania didn't do well. It wasn't his fault. I don't know, man. It's just unreal to me, some of the stuff in this article. But guys, I am all ears, and let me know down in the comments how you feel about all of this. A, would you want them to even pivot to Doctor Doom in the first place? And B, how would you feel about a recasting after all this time with Jonathan Majors if they did just stick another actor in there as Kang the Conqueror? I think they're equally troublesome and not either a thing that I want to see at this point, but maybe there is time left for them to prioritize Doom. If you think about how much time Thanos actually had on screen, and if they're willing to push Avengers Secret Wars back much further into the decade, or say 2029, 2030, then I think there would be plenty of room to work him in if that's what they want to do. I am all ears. Let me know all your thoughts and reactions down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are literally a week away from giving back-to-back PlayStations away, one for Loki's finale and one when the Marvels go live. 2 next week. All you got to do to be entered to win, it's super simple. Hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at @MFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to the original music under the name All Fires, hence the AKA at the beginning of the video. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.